I just want to make a comment. Down in my group, down in San Diego, Nation of the Four Directions, one of our members is intersex. And I have to be honest with you, that's the first intersex person that has come across any of the gay Indian groups that I've been around. Transgender is a whole other issue. A lot of people don't realize that, I think because the intersex is such a small population, because there's so few, that, they don't get taught. If you notice, it's not even on that long list of names we have for gay community centers. Where are they listed at, But historically,
because in Western culture, they've been forced to choose physically and emotionally one gender over another. Whereas, as far as what I learned in my anthropology, those individuals were the most honored, most taken, because they were literally born physically with both sexual organs as well as with both spirits.
The member of my group, she was born with both and now identifies as a lesbian. But her parents were very special. Her parents did not make her choose. She is Crow and black, and her parents did not make her choose until she was a grown person, which is kind of interesting because you can get the operation for free if you're a kid, but once you're grown and you want to get it, then you have to pay for it. So it's a whole other issue in terms of making that choice and but yeah. Historically, too, I just want to make a comment. Historically, you don't hear them talk about too much in California culture. I've always heard everything being in Lakota, put around their culture. The Winkte term, I've been natural Winkte, is Lakota. But you don't hear about it in California culture. And the other comment I want to make, too, is if you notice all these terms, bradage and all these different things, they're all male-orientated. For some reason, historically, you don't see much about us lesbians. Everything is either about a man wanting to be a woman or a woman wanting to be a man, but all those stories you read about, I looked at all these gay history books, everything's about a man. There's very few. I don't know whether these men, they have the problem, are obsessed with the men, while they're all telling, or the women, we always lie to them anyway, so maybe the women never worked out. I don't know.
Yes, we are colonized.
Yeah.
Our people are colonized. And part of the work that we do both in the Northeast Two-Spirit Society and the work that we do internationally with human rights at the United Nations, where we speak of ourselves as nations, just as you just stated.
Right, because that's a Western term.
Right. And why we don't recognize the borders. 3/4 of the United States is held illegally. 75% of this is unceded territory, which means if we ever get our way at the UN, a lot of these are going to be paying taxes to different people. But that being said, our cultures have been colonized for 500 years, just as
Africa. It's been that long?
Well, a little more, honey, because 1492 or whatever. I'm really bad at math. My culture, it's been about 150 years, because it took them a little longer to get out to us. Well, let me just finish that part of what we do in all of the work, whatever kind of community building we do, I work with a group at Pine Ridge called Unite to Fight, which is a school of liberation. And what we concentrate on is decolonization of ourselves and working on that part of ourselves that has had that Western viewpoint imposed upon us. Of course, we're not ever going to really lose that, because if you're brought up with it, it's there. But it becomes a process of acknowledging when that is taking effect, and when, like I said, sometimes this historical trauma comes into play, which is a part of colonization. We have to learn, we have to teach ourselves to acknowledge that and recognize it, and then respect within our community a response to that.
Came to New York, I didn't know about different tribes and different mixes of people, and so I learned. And I can really only speak about my own tradition and where I'm from. But a lot of the great Lakota, Nakota, and Dakota ceremonies are based on what you can experience as a human being. So the sun dance is a giving of pain, because that's what you can feel and give. It's really of you in thanks, or the pipe ceremony, clear the mind, speak what's on your mind, or the sweat lodge, you go back into the womb, find out what you're thinking. And a lot of these things are very about this kind of personal experience, and it's very powerful. And it's painful to see people from the outside come just for that, because they'll be faced with all this anger about racism that they didn't cause. But that's what comes out. Oh, you want another thing, you know? And we often get spiritual tourists coming to South Dakota to, you know, Crow Dog's Paradise to do a Sundance. And, you know, these are real, traditional, functioning things that people do at certain points in their life to complete something. Like when people say they're going to Sundance, it's maybe a memory of unresolved relationship with a parent, and it's very primal to the heart. So it's very uncomfortable sometimes for people. I don't know if you guys have the same experience of trying to explain to people really the traditional ways spiritually, because people just want that, and they want it so bad that they'll actually attack you to get it. They'll actually call you all kinds of names because you won't verify what they have in their mind as their true, you know, and it's like you either go along with it and you can be a friend, or you try to explain to them the situation and you lose it, you become very unpopular and you're very angry, and, you know, too bad for you, so.
There's a fundamental difference between Native American culture and non-Native American culture. I think that with Native Americans, it's, as Ken said, it's an idea of what can I give back to my community, and what can I offer this community, and what can I do for somebody else, and what can I do for people, and it goes on and on. And I think outside of Native American circles, outside of Native American nations and families and clans, there's a lot of what can I buy and what can I take for myself. It's sort of like maybe celebrity culture, you know, I want to take a quick picture of Britney Spears so I can have it forever. That's how I think of it, I don't know. Because we saw some celebrities today and we took a picture real quick. But I think about that because it's a fundamental difference, because as soon as I got into this, I'm still being questioned by my, you know, the elders of my reservation, like I said, for the sexuality thing and the religious thing, but they just want to make sure that the sacred traditions that they're going to share with me are not going to be sold on eBay the next day. And I think that if you are a part of a sacred ceremony which is sold to you, it's not sacred. Somebody's calling it sacred, but if it's sacred culture, you probably haven't heard about it, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm still learning that I only get to learn at a certain level in my life.
Don't pay for a sweat lodge. Don't pay for a sweat lodge, everyone.
I just wanted to say that when Wiwa Warchiampi first began its journey, you would have been a very different audience. You would have been more hostile, you would have been more demanding, you would have been more wanting us to answer exactly what you wanted to hear, whether it's about shamanic practices or whether it's about spirituality. You would want us to fit into what you thought. And today it's so different. I don't know if you recognize that, Ben, but it's so different today. And it was hard back then. It was really, really hard. I'm sure like Randy Burns had even a tougher time than we all did. But we had to fight a lot with people. You know, not only our own interfights, but you know, with other like people from the African American community or you know Asian communities. But there was support. But yet we had to also stand up and say, no, you know, look at us. We're not just shamanic practices. We're not just the stereotype. We are real people, and this is who we are presenting. Look at that. And it was very, very difficult back then. It's very different now.